Hello everyone, and from the Atlantic Ocean in the northwest portion of the African continent on day 7 of our 10-day stretch in the stunning sea since leaving Tema and Takoradi, Ghana. Welcome to Sailing with Sof, a podcast where I, Sofia, or Sof, take you along my adventures as a college student living and studying on a ship for about 4 months while my shipmates and I traversed through the ocean and traveled to multiple countries across 3 continents. For a quick overview, I'm on the spring 2024 voyage from January to April of a study abroad program called Semester at Sea. Our port of embarkation was in Bangkok, Thailand, and since then we've been to Malaysia, India, Kenya, Mozambique, South Africa, and Ghana. Now we're on our way to Morocco. We only have 3 weeks in total on this voyage and 2 countries left until we sadly disembark the ship for good in Germany. It truly has been an adventure of a lifetime, and I am beyond grateful. Now, in this episode, I bring on a guest named Ali, who has been able to work for a semester at sea for the first time during a chunk of this spring voyage. Ali is gone now because he has headed back to his job at a university in Colorado. Ali gives some great advice, and you get to hear a little bit about his story as well. I do want to preface by apologizing for the background audio, also called room tone, I believe, in the professional world. Unfortunately, there are not many quiet spots on the ship where rooms are completely sealed and you can have a conversation one-on-one without background noise, like with people talking especially. So hopefully you can bear with the audio for about 25 minutes and give it a listen because Ali speaks very eloquently. I think it's definitely worth the listen. I also know that I will never be recording in that room again, but we recorded in the ship's conference room on our way to Ghana because Ali would be leaving the voyage and taking a flight back from Ghana to head back to his work. Without further ado, let's just get right into the interview. Alrighty, so I'm very excited to have another guest on my podcast, and this one is my first guest who works for Semester at Sea. So I'm very honored to have Ali here, and Ali works at Colorado State University, which is the college that sponsors Semester at Sea, and he's currently a caregiver on the ship to 2 kids. But I'm excited to dive deeper into the episode and learn more about Ali and how his time has been on the ship and what exactly his role is. So without further ado, Ali, would you mind just introducing yourself a little, where you're from, and then anything else you think we should know about you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sofia. First, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I'm really excited to get a chance to...
I'm glad we can make it work.
Yes, I'm glad we could make this work. I'm excited to be on this podcast, and this is a cool opportunity. So looking forward to chatting with you and hearing the questions that you asked me. So a little bit about me. My name, again, as Sofia mentioned, is Ali Raza. I work at Colorado State University. I serve as an assistant director of involvement. So in that role, I oversee and work with all of our student organizations on campus. So mostly working with our student organization leaders, our student government, help students and student organizations come up with events and programs that they want to do, and really help interpret policy so that students and student organizations who want to do things on campus know how they can do things and they can access different resources. And so I'm just kind of like the plug that helps the students and student orgs get involved on campus.
How long have you been at CSU for?
Yeah, I've been at CSU for a little over 7 years now, which is wild to think about.
Yeah.
Because I came to CSU thinking that I'd be there for maybe 2 years, but really fell in love with our community and the students and the work that I get to do on a day-to-day basis. And so just absolutely love the work that I get to do each day.
And where are you from originally?
Yeah, originally I was born in Karachi, Pakistan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. And my family moved me here when I was 2 years old and came in through Houston and just kind of moved around quite a bit growing up. I didn't really feel like I had a place called home growing up, just because we moved around a lot. And so when people ask me now where I'm from, I say where I was born, and then really Texas is the place I identify most with as far as home goes, because it's where I went to high school, it's where I went to college. Hook 'em to all the Longhorns out there.
Oh, UT. Oh, okay.
Hook 'em,
nice.
Let's go. Yeah, and so I had a transformative experience at UT, and I was a first-generation college student, right? I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Neither of my parents were able to support me or even understand what society or college or the culture of being in the U.S. was for people that are going to college. But I was really, really lucky that I got really involved on campus, and I had other people that invested in me, people that believed in me, people that were pushing me along and saying that I can do this and that UT was a place for me. And so I persisted and I graduated, and actually because of the experiences that I had in college, I changed my career trajectory from going to law school and the policy route to really pivoting into higher education and working on college campuses. And so that's how I got to where I am today at Colorado State University, is working with college students, hoping to help shape, inspire, and empower the future generation of leaders and thinkers and problem solvers so that they can get through college. Because I know for sure I would not have made it through college if I didn't have other people that believed in me. So I just want to give back as much as I can and play a small role in people's lives as they navigate Colorado State University.
Wow. And have you visited Pakistan ever since you moved when you were 2?
Yeah. I've gone back a couple times. It's been a while. I think the last time I went back with family was probably about 20 years now. Yeah, so we don't really go back as much, and family's a whole nother dynamic. But I'm for the most part pretty independent, and just we haven't had a chance to go back to Pakistan recently. It is someplace that I do want to go back to. I still have family and relatives over there, but the timing and the climate just hasn't worked out to where I can go visit.
Okay. And just curious, growing up in a first-gen household, did you feel any pressure, like to go with a certain route, like with law or sciences? Was that a big thing or no?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. And gosh, that's a great question, because I still feel that today, right? And so growing up, being from a Pakistani, a South Asian family, an immigrant family, right? Coming to the U.S., we came here for better opportunity, access to education and resources, and just a better quality of life. And the upbringing that I had was a struggle. I mean, I lived in 7 states. I moved more than 20 times by the time I got to high school. And a lot of that was just familial things, parents separating and getting back together, health and financial stuff and whatnot. But through all of that, a common theme was education. My mom always talked about education growing up and always instilled the importance of how education is an avenue for us to really escape the poverty and the situation that our family had been in and in certain respects continues to be in. But there was also this lingering pressure from other family and other family friends who were always saying, you got to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. And then in more contemporary times, there's this pressure to be in big tech, right? And so, of course, I'm over here sitting down having this interview, and I'm in neither of those industries. I work in education.
Yeah.
And it's wild because when I try to explain what I do to my parents or to my family or relatives, they have no idea what I'm doing. Some think that I'm a professor, which I'm not. Some think that I'm a teacher, which I'm not. But I love what I do, and choosing the profession that I have chosen is a privilege. I fully recognize that because not everyone has that opportunity to choose the profession or field that they want to go into. And I made some sacrifices in choosing this. There's in my culture, there's a lot of obligation for supporting family financially, living in multi-generational households, sending money back. And I do all of that still to this day, but I'm able to do it on a smaller scale because of the profession that I've chosen to do. But I feel like the scope and scale of the work that I'm able to do also has a wider impact because I get to work with incredible students on a day-to-day basis, every semester, every year. And hopefully some of those conversations and moments of inspiration that I have with students can have an even bigger impact, a ripple effect, if you will, in the world. But from a career standpoint, I enjoy what I do. My family is understanding a little bit more and more what I do. But I think they're still holding out hope that I'm going to be a doctor, a medical doctor. I'm working on my PhD right now. Part of that is because I really want to, have that terminal degree and continue to learn and challenge myself and move up in my field. But part of it is also for my family, right? I can finally say to them, hey, I'm a doctor
Yeah.
now. And maybe they'll be proud.
So what advice would you give to like someone my age or a college student thinking about life after college and maybe trying to go one route, but it's not exactly in the interest of their passions?
I would say, like, listen to your mind, listen to your body, listen to your soul. Figure out what makes your heart beat. I think so much nowadays, there's so much pressure societally, from social media, from friends, from family, from people you don't even know, to have things figured out, right? Your peers are going to see what your other peers are going to do, and they're going to say, oh, wow, like, so-and-so is doing this, and I'm not even there yet, or I haven't even thought about that. And then you feel bad because you feel like you're behind. What I want to share is no one is behind. Everyone is exactly where they're supposed to be in the exact moment that they are in, right? And there's no linear path towards success. There's no linear path towards a career or a profession or even a calling. No, I'm 7 years into my professional career after I went to undergrad, and after I went to grad school, and even 7 years in, I still don't know what I really want to do when I grow up. All I know is the values that I have and the values that I hold on to. And what's most important is how can you find alignment in the values that you have and you hold on to with the work that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, right? What kind of trade-off are you okay with? What compromises and sacrifices are you okay with making in terms of your values or the security and safety net of having a career or job? The other piece that I want to leave you with is, you don't have to do one thing in life. I think oftentimes we're told the tales of olden days where, you graduate from high school or college and then you work in a job for 40 years, for 50 years, and then you retire with a nice cushy pension, and you live the life, out in your white picket fence house with your dogs and your 2.8 kids, and then then that's it. That's life. Gone are those days. You don't have to be doing one thing for 40 or 50 years. And what I tell students now, what I like to share with people now is, think about your career, think about your job, think about your profession as in a 5 to 10 year increment, right? What's something that you're really interested in doing right now that, of course, is going to meet your basic needs and to allow you to be safe and secure and meet the obligations that you have. But then think about, what comes next. You don't have to be stuck doing one thing for the rest of your life. Entertain your passions, entertain your hobbies, entertain other opportunities that exist, because life is too short to not entertain those other callings, right? And plus, I think we're shifting from a societal standpoint to be more along the lines of where we were in the Renaissance age, right? Where people are Renaissance people, right? Doing multiple jobs, pivoting, having different passions, engaging the brain and the mind and the body in different ways. And I think that's something that we have to really lean into and listen into, because that's where society is moving. We need to be more interculturally connected, and we don't have to just do one thing. So if you don't have things figured out, that's okay, because no one really has anything figured out. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of relief in understanding that the experience that you may be having is not one that you're having alone or by yourself. So be in community and recognize that things will work out. It just might take a little bit longer, and that's okay.
Wow, tremendous advice. Seriously, I remember when I first met you in the library, I believe it was like the night before we first arrived in the first port on semester at sea in Malaysia, and it was like 1 a.m. I think Fatima was also next door, but just very inspirational, motivational, very impressive.
Thank
you. So I want to segue to semester at sea. One, what were your family's thoughts about you doing semester at sea then? Is this something you ever thought you would do?
Semester at sea, I knew about it when I was an undergrad. I never thought that it was something for me. I never thought it was possible for me to do something like semester at sea. But when working at CSU and then having this opportunity to be a caregiver, caregiver/companion on this voyage, I initially was really reluctant on doing that because for me, the population that I work with that I really thrive in is college age students. But the caregiver role is one really meant for supporting teens and preteens and toddlers who are known as ship kids on the voyage. And so,
Yep.
yeah, and they are a menace, let me tell you. They are running around, hooting, hollering, screaming, crying, and a lot of them have a mind of their own. And just imagine it like this: there's 37 ship kids, ranging from, I think, age 2 or 3 to age like 17, and there are some really, really big personalities, and a lot of these teenagers, especially, are having a really challenging time because they're stuck on this floating college campus, and they have all these restrictive rules and policies and guidelines, and they can't run and they can't do what they want to do, and that's really hard for them. And I remember when I was a teenager, the last thing that I wanted to do was listen to an adult or to follow any rules or policies, and so I can imagine how difficult it is for them. But to go back to your question, I was really interested in doing this because I love travel, and I eventually came around to saying yes because I enjoy travel, I enjoy challenges. I wanted to see how this was going to be, maybe have this be a trial run for maybe a future voyage where I am a staff or faculty member. In this role, I'm really serving as a volunteer and supporting one family and working with the other ship kids. But it's been a great experience, honestly, and I absolutely love our ship kids. We actually just finished our kids programming session. We have it every day from 2 to 4 p.m. in Lido, and it's an incredible time, and they're people that I'm really gonna miss a lot after this voyage ends. But yeah, I don't know if I fully answered your question, or feel free to ask me again.
So I also want to know when you first knew you were 100% committed to semester at sea.
Yeah. I'd say it probably wasn't until September. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So early to mid-fall, because I had to have some conversations with my supervisor and with my work to be able to take this time off. I mean, semester at sea is a huge commitment for people. Because a lot of jobs, a lot of employers will not allow somebody to take, 2, 3, 4 months off from work and for you to still have your job there. I was really lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones because I work at Colorado State University, which is the academic partner for Semester at Sea. And so my supervisor and several other colleagues and friends of mine have done Semester at Sea in the past. And so they were very supportive of me taking time off, doing this voyage in this capacity, and coming back. And I'm actually leaving in a couple days, and I was able to have enough time off to where I was able to sail through the midway point of Ghana. So about 3/4 of the voyage, I'll be heading back to work, and I'm very sad to be leaving. I'll definitely miss Voyage 133, but it's something that my employer supported 100%. As far as my family goes, they really didn't know what I was doing. It was kind of hard to, I mentioned to them a few times, oh yeah, I'm going on this floating college campus, and I'm not working, but I'm serving as like a nanny or like a tutor, and they're like, okay, cool, I guess. But they're supportive, and they comment on my pictures and like my pictures, and I message them and keep them in the loop about where we're at. But I'm very thankful that I've had this opportunity, and very glad that I was asked to be a companion and caregiver and support the ship kids on this voyage.
And so your role exactly, so you're technically a nanny. You have to be with these kids. How often each day? How does that work?
Yeah. So it's an interesting role because from the time I wake up until the time the kids go to bed, I'm pretty much on call with the kids. And so whether it's going to breakfast early in the morning, I go to every global studies class at 8:30. Then after that, there's study hall from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And so I help devise the curriculum and create assignments and adapt assignments from other classes. so that the kids that I work with are ages 13 and 15, so that they're staying on top of their schooling, and so that they're receiving some credit for the work that they're doing here, right? Because we want to make sure that the semester that they're sailing as ship kids, they don't fall too behind from their schooling, because that's really important. Then I do lunch. I'll attend a couple classes and sessions with the ship kids. One of the kids that I supervise, he's taking both classes for college credit, and so he has some additional assignments from his faculty. And then the other kid that I supervise, the 13-year-old, I create all of their assignments with them and work with them one-on-one, based on, on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, modifying the assignments, seeing what's working and not working. Then 2 to 4, we have kids programming. 4 to 5, usually it's either pool days or sport court with the kiddos.
So is that your time to relax a little?
Sometimes to relax a little. Like today, I'm able to kind of get away from the kids.
I'm honored you can come here.
Absolutely. Then we have dinner, and then usually we have a lot of evening programs. There's different student organizations and club meetings, and we have cross currents usually every night. And so sometimes I'll take the kids there, or one of the kids that I work with, they love D&D, and so we'll go to D&D games, or we'll go to a Swifty club meeting, or so it just depends. And then once the kids are asleep, then I get to really have my time to connect with college students, or be with caregivers and companions, staff, faculty, and then I usually do some reflection at night. I love doing Lido laps, walking around the ninth deck, stargazing, watching a sunset. That's typically a day. It's a pretty jam-packed day, and I usually get up around. I'm not a super early riser, but I'm awake around 7 o'clock, and then I'm in bed by 2 a.m.
Oh, not much sleep. How do you function?
The ship kids give me a lot of energy. The college students give me a lot of energy, and I'm definitely a person that gets a lot of energy from people, and so I'm fueled by the shipboard community and by Voyage 133.
Now, what are you going to miss since you leave the ship soon? Anything in particular about being a caregiver?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really going to miss the ship kids. They had a really thoughtful session today where all the kids, they gave me a card and were, dancing and talking about how much they're going to miss me, and I shared some words with them about how much I appreciated them and how they were probably among the favorite part of my experience. And yeah, I'll miss the kids.
Now, on a brighter note, anything you're looking forward to when you head back to CSU? How do you think your transition will be?
Yeah. I love to cook, so I'm really looking forward to going back home.
That's so true. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back and being with my roommates and cooking a meal in the kitchen with my roommates. I'm looking forward to being with my students again, to connecting with my colleagues. I love hiking, and living in Colorado, there's a ton of great trails and hikes. So looking forward to my morning walk to work and my nighttime walk back home. It's about 2.5 miles each way, so it's very meditative and therapeutic for me, first thing in the morning and last thing at night. And, just kind of getting back into a little bit of a routine, and yeah.
Okay, so I have a segment where near the end it's called Gratitude Section. And we say 3 things we're grateful for, and I got the number 3 for Voyage 133.
Yes.
To stick with the 3s. So to close it off, we can each say 3 things we're grateful for. My first one, actually, it's going to be Captain Young because of I don't know if you can call it a cross current yesterday, but Captain Young, the captain of our ship, he spoke to the whole community and answered everyone's questions. And he's super outgoing, funny ship guy. We saw him after late at night, 11 p.m., just walking up on Lido. People were asking for selfies, but very grateful for a captain like him. 2, the ocean today.
Oh my gosh, yes.
My roommate was talking about it. She sent me a message on WhatsApp saying, oh my God, the ocean is so nice. It looked like a mirror. It was the calmest, flattest seas I've ever seen. So once semester at sea ends, for me, the ocean is going to be something I miss a lot, but very grateful for that. And then third one I'm grateful for, always the basketball. I love playing basketball, and one of my very good friends on the ship, she also loves playing. So just going up there to the very top, the highest part we're allowed to go, seeing the beautiful ocean, soaking it all in. I'll miss that.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, and yeah, you're a baller. I see you out there. You're just draining those threes all day, every day. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely grateful for all of those as well. And I think one of the things that I'm really grateful for are the ship kids. Absolutely. I mean, I'm a little biased since I work with them so closely, but they are a bundle of joy. They're a terror of menace sometimes, but I think they really add a lot of value to the shipboard community. I'm really thankful, really grateful for the crew. You know, I think the crew are among the most outstanding people that I've ever met in my life. They are always smiling. They know every
I
single
don't know
person's
how.
name.
My gosh. Yeah.
And they know everyone's name, what people like, where they're from. They are, you know, essentially counselors, hearing people vent and supporting them and wiping away tears. And they just do so much for the MV World Odyssey and Semester at Sea that I cannot imagine this experience without them 100%. And then, of course, you know, Voyage 133. Like, that's the whole shipboard community, you know, from the college students to the ship kids to the staff and faculty to the crew to Captain Jan to the caregivers and companions. I think that's been my favorite part about the whole voyage is, yeah, we've gone to some really incredible places and have experienced a ton of amazing things in port to different countries, trying different foods, really interrogating the atrocities that have happened in different places and spaces, learning and unlearning. But that final port, right, the shipboard community, like, that's really special, right? Because you get to really build community with others and learn about people and have these life-changing conversations, or, you know, hoop it up on the 10th deck and have a game of horse or what have you. And it's a really special thing that I'm going to carry with me for a long, long time. And, you know, 133, we've made a lot of history, you know, and it's going to be a really special thing that I'm going to take back. And I'm excited to share everything that I learned and the people that I've connected with back home as well.
Well, thanks so much for joining, and it felt like a sentimental episode because you leave so soon, but really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for the opportunity. This was a lot of fun, and I'm just excited that we got a chance to connect early on in the voyage, and I've just been so inspired by how you hold yourself, and excited to see how you'll continue to flourish for years to come. So I'm excited for us to stay in touch and see where life takes you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course.
All right. Thanks, Ali.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Alrighty, hope you enjoyed that interview. I really enjoyed my conversation with Ali. Of course, also I wish it was longer and could have dived deeper into a bunch of topics, but as you could tell, Ali was quite a busy guy on the ship. I'm glad that I was able to get some time to speak with him before he left. He had a bunch of other things to worry about, like packing, saying goodbye to everything, processing everything about this journey. So a big shout out to Ali for making time to speak with me and to do this for my podcast. Really appreciate it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and feel free to continue sailing along with me for these final 3 weeks of the voyage. Until next time, signing off from my bed in the Indian Ocean, sincerely, Sof.